What's up, people? Welcome back to another episode of Under 1,000 Podcast. Yes, this is usually live, but we pre-recorded this one because if you didn't know, Judah's birthday is on Friday, so I'm spending time with my son. We're going to one of those jumping parks, so we're going to have fun there. So if you could, say happy birthday to him in the comments. He will love to see that. He's turning 8. The kid's growing real fast. So since I'm out jumping, I did a pre-recorded Under 1,000 podcast. Hopefully you guys like it. I think I'm going to make it a premiere, so I'm still probably trying to be in the comments here and there and talk to you guys as well, but we'll see how that goes. But you guys know how Under 1,000 Pod goes. I bring on another YouTube reptile enthusiast, hobbyist, or breeder, and we get to talk to them about their YouTube journey and their reptile stuff. It's a great way for me to network within the community, because if you don't know, I am an introvert, so it's a great way for me to meet new people, talk to new people, make more friends in the community, and impact the community in my own little way, help it grow as well. But without further ado, you know how we do this. Say thanks to our sponsor. So 1 second, let's see our sponsor. Say thank you for being sponsored for this episode. This episode sponsored by DWXOTICZ. That is my twin brother from another mother, Dre. Just go check him out. He is amazing. He is a reptile enthusiast. He has many different species of reptiles, from emerald tree boas, green tree pythons, reticulated pythons, blood pythons, ball pythons. He has, I'm going to say it wrong. It's not a Komodo dragon. It's a crocodilian. I think that's what it's called. I could be wrong, but you only find out if you go check out his YouTube channel. Yes, check out his YouTube channel. He is killing it over there. Great channel. Very informative. He tells you about animals. He shows you how to take care of animals. He shows you how to handle animals. He is very knowledgeable and doesn't mind giving up that knowledge and letting you know all about the animals he takes care of, he loves, and the ones we are all passionate about. Definitely go check him out. And while you're watching his YouTube, make sure you jump over to his Instagram, go hit that follow button, and check him out on TikTok too. He's on TikTok doing his thing on TikTok. But definitely go check out Dre. Dre is a great friend to me, and he's a great friend to the reptile community. So definitely go check him out. Definitely go hit that follow. Let him know I sent you. And thanks again, Dre, for sponsoring this episode. All right, guys, so without further ado, time to bring on our guest. Here's our guest for this week, Ramel. How you doing?
Doing good, man. How you doing? Living life.
Doing good. Thanks for coming on again. You were on one of these before. We were talking about your ball pythons, but this time we're going to talk about your other reptiles, so get to know them a little more. If you guys didn't know, Ramel has Morph Nation reptiles. Are you still with? Okay, I was wondering if you were going to drop the reptiles and just say Morph Nation. I know you were talking about that, but then you were like, I might just keep the whole thing.
I mean, you know, it's kind of one of those things, like Morph Nation Reptiles is the name, but like, I don't know, I think I may do like, you know, shorten, like, you know, I do for the podcast, or when I do podcasts, I do Morph Nation. Or, you know, I don't know. You know, I don't hate it. You know what I mean? It flows.
Understandable. You know, I get you. Yeah. Which I'm still. After this, I'm gonna figure out how to get a shirt from you, because I need a shirt. I realized I haven't got a shirt from you. I need to get a shirt. I know this is your second logo, right?
Yeah, this was actually the alternate.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, when I got it done, the original logo was this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the one that I kind of the
I
concept
got that sticker.
I drew up. Yeah.
See, I need the new sticker too now. I think I don't think the new sticker's on Sticker Door, so I'm gonna need shirt and sticker. Definitely gotta get that going.
I got you.
But if you didn't know, guys, he is on YouTube, Instagram, and he is definitely on TikTok. He kills it on TikTok. He has the best videos. Has me laughing, hilarious.
Appreciate it. Yeah,
definitely.
I plan on getting some more YouTube content out, man. Like I was telling you, I got the Tegu enclosure I'm gonna build. I'm doing it out of a grow tent, 8x4 by 6, I believe, and gonna do it bioactive. So I guess I could break it up into setting it up, like how I'm gonna set it up with the liner, and she's gonna have a little bathing area, like a platform she can get in, because I don't want it to get a bunch of substrate in it, so I'm gonna build a ramp platform to where where she's getting in and out, she has time to drag herself across that and get dirt and debris off.
Gotcha.
And I mean, it's 8 foot, so that's literally like a lot of area to play with, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And what other the incubator build.
All the hatchlings you got coming.
Yeah,
eggs just dropping.
I mean, I haven't done a single egg cutting video.
Oh, really?
I've got footage. I just don't like, there's just certain parts and certain ones that I don't like, and I don't know. I'm too picky. But I've got 5 clutches in the incubator right now that are gonna hatch out in the next 35 days, and 7 more that should be laid in the next 45 days or so, and then another possible 4 or 5 that could go either way. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
So I should be over 20 clutches for the season. I'm on 15 right now, like 15 in the incubator. But one of those is a corn clutch, so it's not all ball pythons.
Okay.
I've got a clutch of 7 corn snakes right now, and 3 of them are scaleless. I had 8 eggs.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I had 9 eggs, 4 slugs, and the pairing was a albino Motley het scaleless female to a blood red 100% het hypo male, and like I said, I had 9 eggs, 1 went bad, and then 8 hatched, but one of them was like severely kinked. I mean, it was like a 90-degree angle. That's the worst one. I'm sorry, I've hatched out some multiple kinked 8 balls, but that one was the most severe angled
kink. Yeah.
And I didn't even catch it. My wife caught it. That's the crazy thing.
Wow.
She's not even like, the snake person. Like, she's almost never in here. Really, she just happened to catch it. She's like, "Oh, look at that! What is that? Has that one got a kink?" And I'm like, "Look at you using ball python terms. It's corn snakes." And then I looked and I said, "Dang, it does have a kink."
Oh wow! At least you see she's listening. Yeah, she's actually paying attention.
She definitely pays attention. She's got no choice at this point. I mean, it's a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle, man. Like there's different levels to it, and it's okay. Like nobody has to be on every same level, Like I'm okay that I'm not on Ozzy's level, and I'm sure there's plenty of people, that are okay on a level, lower than I'm at. It's a hobbyist level,
Mm-hmm.
So,
hey,
but at this level,
one stage at a time.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot. So, but man.
So we brought you on because we know you got ball pythons, and you still got to do a reptile room since I know you acquired a collection, so your ball pythons just went like through the roof. Like you've got amazing new animals in there. So we'll be looking for that video very soon. Hopefully very soon. But we brought you on to talk about your other reptiles in your reptile room. The other ones that might not get as much shine as the ball pythons, but we're here to talk about those and find out the ones you love the most and the ones you use for stuff. So you know how this show goes. We ask questions. So let's go ahead and hit the first question, which is, what do you learn after you started your YouTube channel, your reptile YouTube channel? I meant to put YouTube there, and I put reptiles, but it means YouTube. So what did you learn after you started your YouTube channel?
Well, I learned that it's a really tough niche, reptile niche in general, because you're never gonna be right, no matter how you try to run that channel. Which I mean, that's is life pretty much with everything that you do. You're not right with somebody, but specifically with the YouTube channel, it's like, okay, you can't do feeding videos, which is everybody's quarrel, which is stupid, but I
don't know if it's just feeding videos. I think, because I still do feeding videos, but all mine are frozen thawed mostly. I think it's live feeding videos.
Well, see, and it's like,
are people still yelling at you for the frozen thawed videos too?
No. I mean, I haven't done it. I don't think I've put any feeding videos on YouTube. I'm just saying, like, it's a topic, it's an issue.
Yeah.
Like, literally, nobody is saying, like, hold on, what about these videos though? But to that guy's beagle in the kitchen, he was eating his puppy chow. You know what I mean? That was real chicken, like from a bird. Nobody's saying this. That's what I'm saying. Like that's the problem that I'm talking about. That I realized after starting it. And I get, like, there's sick people out there. It's like, oh, I'm doing this YouTube video, and like I'm here's a baby guinea pig that I'm trying to feed to my ball python, and it's way too big, and the ball python's just striking at it. Like, I get that. Flag them, not just because it's got blood or because the animal was alive, or whatever the case may be. If it was done within right parameters, let it be done within right parameters. It's some of the that's the reason why. I mean, I say that's the reason why. That's one of the reason why a lot of my animals don't get a lot of playtime when it comes to Morph Nation.
Gotcha.
Like, people ask me all the time, like, you got a what? I'm like, why don't you never post that? And I'm like, they're for me. I don't know.
This is my pet. This ain't for the world. This for me.
When I have them out, I don't. Sometimes I don't know. I don't take the picture. I'm just sitting there admiring them or doing, whatever with it. So it. I don't know. Some of them I even forget that I don't even that I haven't showed off. I feel like you've seen it as much as I have, just because I admire it so much.
Gotcha. I understand that. I understand that. Okay, that makes sense.
But
I get it. It is.
That's
a
one
big
thing
topic. It is a big topic, and it's people.
And I'm not just specifically talking about live feeding, like just in general. It's a tough niche, and you really have to get creative to be able to want and be successful at doing it consistently. I guess,
Yeah.
I mean,
I can understand that.
I guess anybody can get, in front of a camera and just, talk and do whatever. But like to actually capture audience, people,
to be entertaining.
Yeah.
To have that wow factor to get people to come back, watch you over and over again. That is a skill
That's what I like about TikTok. It's like, man, some of my TikToks, I'll have the sound. I'll be sitting on the couch and I think of it. And I'm like, oh, save that sound. One night I'm in here and I'm thinking about, I'll do it, and I put 2.5, 3 hours into this little 18-second TikTok or whatever. And maybe it's funny. As funny as I'll get out to me, it don't do well. But those are some of the best ones that I like. But versus me just going, oh, here's a TikTok. So yeah, I like, I'm just talking, just blabbing about whatever, just to put some, video out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's the difference between you actually putting creative energy into something than you just creating something. Exactly. It's a big difference in that. Some of it's a passion, a love of passion to create something, and something was just, I had to create something to put something out.
Yeah.
And you can see that in people sometimes. You can see that in their content when they just had to put something out because they realize they ain't putting nothing out in a minute. You can see it. So I get that. I get that. I try to be as creative when I put stuff out. I try to change something slightly. Sometimes it's noticed, sometimes it's not. And then you just keep doing it until it gets noticed. And then you're like, okay, people are picking that up. Let me throw something else in there now. Because they seeing that now. They seeing that idea I had and where I went with it. Now let me give them something different to watch for and keep them guessing what's coming. That's how you keep people entertained. You keep them on their toes. You keep them thinking about your content and not necessarily just watching your content. Yeah, I can understand that. I totally can.
I definitely don't think that it's unobtainable. I mean, obviously, but a lot of people know you. We got sponsored by DWXOTICZ. Dre, he's got good following. There's plenty of people out there who gain a following. I mean, in millions. All the way up to the big millions, like Brian Barczyk followers. In this category. So I'm not like using that as like a crutch as far as like why not to do it or why I wouldn't do it or anything like that. But that is one thing that I realized after. I thought it would be a lot easier. I'm like, it's literally in front of you content. How can it not? How does it get any easier? Just record. Yeah. Yeah. You're not even the actor. Well, I mean, you are,
you're not
but
the star necessarily.
You're not real. You are, but you aren't in a sense. It's like we talk when we talk about videos. It's like, man, I talk about this having to be perfect in the camera, or whatever. I don't even have to show my face. I don't even have to be in the camera. I can literally just show the clutch and this what I'm looking at, POV, what you see, what I see, and have a whole channel like that. You may never know what I look like.
There's a couple people that have channels like that. You've never seen their face, but they have really good content and they can shoot their animals really well. And they know how to make them, frame them, make them the star, and they realize that human factor is not necessarily needed. The animal is the star, and you made that happen. So I could totally get that.
I've had some that I'm like trying to go back to their super old videos just to see if I can find a glimpse of what they look like.
So what is your favorite 2 reptiles in your collection?
Oh,
look, he's like going through like, oh, this one, but then there's this one.
So number 1 will probably be my Tegu queen. She's just the best to interact with. Which is weird because we're not like, it's not like this puppy dog dream Tegu you in person, relationship that you see on a lot of these Facebook videos or whatever videos. She ain't there yet, but it's cool because like the potential's there, 1, and 2, she is communicative. Like we can, there's a form of communication there with her, right? I mean, there is too with the snake. I pretty much all these things, all the snakes that I have, I communicate with them what I'm gonna do before I do it, or they already know that I'm doing it because it's too late because I've acted before they've had a chance to process. Like, oh, is he grabbing me? Oh, you know how ball pythons be doing sometimes. But
Yeah.
so she is, and one, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. She's probably the only thing besides my Dummer's bow in this room that kind of makes me be like, what you doing? I'm watching you, because if anything else in here bit me, I mean, don't get me wrong, my retake is about 7 foot, but between those two would be the worst. I would not want to get bit by. I'll take 2 bites of anything else in here.
Okay.
On the cheek. 2 bites of anything else.
But y'all still getting y'all relationship. Y'all still in the beginning stage.
I mean, she's been asleep for 7 months, man. It's.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they brewmate.
Okay, I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, she, she's done it to herself. Like, a lot of people put them in brumation. I've never tried to brumate her. She does it. Well, it's the second season she's done it. Second year, and both times she slept for like 6.5 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, her first one, bro, she was little. She was like, I mean, I didn't even think that they brumated that young.
Yeah.
I want to say she was like 5-6 months old.
Jesus. So they sleep for what?
They can brumate
7 months?
Yeah, they can brumate anywhere from 3 to 7 months, 7-8 months.
Wow.
A little bit longer than 7 months. She was asleep for about 6 months and somewhere one. It was almost seven months that she was asleep. I think it was 2 weeks shy of 7 months.
So the brumation thing is still super new to me. Do you just every else, or they check in and see if she's woken up, or is there how does it work?
I mean, she's in an enclosure right on the other side of me right now. I'm facing her.
Okay.
Right? I can see in there. She's got a hide. She's got substrate. She's got tunnels under, cocoa and soil and sand and peat moss and a water bowl and a hot side and a basking spot and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
When she goes down, I come through here multiple times a day. If she doesn't come out one of those times when I'm in here and scratch the glass, like let me out, or when I come through here and I'm not looking that way, like jump at the glass to where it hits it and makes me stop and go, what was that? If she does that, she realized that when she does that, it makes me look. Right?
Okay.
Of course.
She knows how to get
because we're human, and yeah, exactly. So, if she doesn't do that for 2 weeks, a week, I know that she's starting to get sleepy. She's starting to go down, or whatever. And then all of a sudden, I just won't see her come out anymore. She won't be out at all. So I just turn the lights off. Some people take them and they put them in a tote, and they have some type of bedding or whatever, and they put them in a tote, and they'll put them in a basement that stays around 55 degrees. And that's what they do with colubrids too, like corn snakes and king snakes, king snakes and bull snakes. But I don't do that. I just keep her in here. It stays around like 76, 77 in the winter.
Okay.
Here. So.
Oh wow!
I just black it out.
Okay. So when she does wake up, is she just like super hungry, or what is her attitude?
Nah,
like?
She's slow. She's lethargic. She's kind of just like smelling stuff around, and then both times last year and this year she got me to where it's like, oh, you remember me, and I'm like, she's creeping. And I was like, oh yeah, you remember me, and then I just kind of moved my hand just a little bit too fast, and they move real fast, man. She didn't try to bite me; she just scurried real quick.
Yeah,
and I was like, don't bite my hand.
Oh wow!
I actually have gloves. It's the only animal I use gloves with too.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not trying to get bit by her.
Understandable. So, what is your other second favorite reptile? I'd
have to say my berm. I I've got he's probably roughly 6 foot hypo granite Burmese python, and he's a little over a year old.
Okay.
He's pretty cool. His name's Thanos. I always wanted a berm growing up. My uncle had one. He had an albino berm, and it was like 15, 16 foot.
Jeez.
You know, when you're like 7, 8 years old, that's like
that
45
huge.
foot long.
Yeah, exactly.
It was at least as long as the tractor trailer, if not longer. To you at 7.
Yeah,
you know?
at that age, yeah.
When I look back in the picture, I'm like, that was only like 15 foot. You know, I swear I thought that thing was like 400 pounds. You know. Because I could swear I remember a story of him where it got out and it moved the dryer from where it was into the living room. Like,
really?
That was the story I remember. I'm pretty sure it never happened, but that was a story that I remember happening. I don't know if I dreamed it or not, but I've definitely been obsessed with snakes way too long.
Okay. So how long have you had him?
Thanos a little over a year.
Okay.
So he's maybe coming up on 2 years on birth. I got him from a breeder out in California, and they're cold-hearted exotics. Super legit. Came with a like a hard, what do you call it, stock paper, like birth certificate, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he's 2 years old. I'm sorry, July 31st. Time be flying, man.
It do. I mean that COVID made everything seem like it. That 2 years seemed like an eternity, but then when you look back, it seemed like it happened so fast.
Yeah, I know, man. It's crazy me
100%.
thinking about like it'll be 3 years like that I went like pretty much balls to the wall breeding in February, and to think about some of the stuff that I'm gonna produce is insane. Even the non-ball python, like what we're talking about now.
Yep.
I've got a bull snake pair, and the male is a visual Balamese antic, and he's 100% het albino, white side, patternless, and hypo. So he's a quad het, visual Balamese antic. Can you hear me? Am I breaking up?
No, you good.
Okay. And the female is a quint het, or whatever 5 het is, for those same genetics. Balamese antic, hypo, white side, patternless, and albino. I know I was missing one. So like that is some crazy, you know, possibilities.
Yeah.
You know, that
so you
combination.
Have a chance of hitting triple heads.
Oh, what?
Triple visuals.
No. 5 visual recessives.
Really? Oh,
hypo,
wow.
Every gene I'm about to say right now is a recessive in bull snakes.
Okay.
Hypo, patternless, albino, Balamese antic, and white side. Those are all recessive genes.
Possibly hitting 5 gene recessive animals.
Yeah, I mean the odds is ridiculous. That is some crazy odds right there.
Yeah.
To hit it, but definitely probably produce some Balamese antic stuff with the dad being visual Balamese antic and mom het. And that's a pair that'll be breeding next season. I could have bred them this season, but I felt a little overwhelmed with the extra stuff because I also have a corn snake pair. I was telling you about that producing scaleless babies.
Yep. There's no need to rush it if you already feel like you might be already extending myself in this season. Let me just hold off on this just so I get used to it, because this is the same season you got this whole new collection in there, right?
Yeah.
Like you've only had the new collection for what, almost 7
months or so.
7 months. Okay, so you already had to change your whole thing around with this new collection. Get used to all those animals, get used to feeding them, taking care of that many animals at a time. You don't need to throw even more animals on top of that while you're trying to just get used to one. So that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean it. And that's why I stopped like my podcast and a lot of consistent social media posting for real, just because it was like any waking moment that I had, I wanted to be down here, make sure everything was good. Had a strong quarantine period there because I knew we couldn't keep everything. So once we established what we didn't want to keep, and it was in good health and we could sell it to quarantine, we could start selling those animals to be able to free up some space and condense down what we had and say, okay, my original collection, this was my plan for this project, and this is what I'm working in with these genes, and what do I have over here. And there was a bunch that I'll tell you that like I had this snake, but there was a snake in the collection that replaced it that had yellow belly in it. And me, like I said, what's the one gene that you can't show me something yellow belly don't go good in it. So, but nonetheless, yeah. The snakes, it had to come first. You got to put all the other stuff to the side. The podcast had to stop for a little bit, but like I said, it'll get back.
Eventually, we'll get back to it.
Oh, yeah.
I know people are looking for it. I know people are wondering where it's been. So eventually, it'll come back, and we'll get to see you in your element again. Because you were really good as a host. You were doing your thing. Like I seen the beginning of it. You were a little hesitant. You were trying to find your footing, and then once you found your footing, like it was just smooth. And I was like, "Oh, you got this."
I liked it, man. It's cool. I like it. It's stressful sometimes.
True, very stressful. Trust me.
It's like I did, and I was like, man, I don't know how Gershon does this. and then I go watch one of yours, and then you come up with something new, and I'm like, man, how you do that?
It's a skill you develop. I'm not gonna lie. It's a skill you develop. Learning how to talk to people, how to get people comfortable, because a lot of people are not comfortable being live per se. So that's why I try to get people that already do YouTube, they don't feel shocked when they come on a live. So that is a skill in itself to get people to relax and just get into the flow of a conversation where they forget about people are watching and they just talking to you. Yeah. That is a skill, and it takes a minute to develop it.
For sure.
But you were doing it. You were doing your thing. I was like, look at him doing his thing. Like, oh, getting it. Every time you had a couple technical difficulties, and you would make it so funny.
Every podcast there for a minute, man. It seemed like, but that's me, man. Like I don't like falling down and looking up, like seeing everybody look at me, laughing. Like I'm gonna hop up and bust a joke. Like, did someone just fart or something? I gotta laugh out of my pain. That's me, man. I in those times I was probably like ready to pee and quit and never do a podcast again. I'm like, man, this sucks. They probably think, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He don't know internet. He can't speak. He can't speak 2022. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to work a dang laptop. So
I've had those moments, bro. I had them. Oh, I have almost every show.
I don't game very much at all. So like putting the headphones on and even having the mic and stuff, like streaming anything, it was all already kind of like a little weird to me or different, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
I totally understand.
Like right now it feels like I'm on ESPN. Got the banner going down in the bottom.
Hey,
I've been waiting for my stats to come across.
I've never had anybody say that, and I love that. I've never had. I might start doing that.
Next show, I want my stats on the bottom. 2020, he did 2 clutches.
I like that.
2021, 12.
I might be incorporating that on some new interviews, throwing up stats up here. So, what's a tool you upgraded for your YouTube channel?
I'd say it has to be the
I was gonna say
Yeti
it's right in
Blackout.
front of you. It's right in front of you.
It was probably the single most powerful thing, because I think I want to say I only had like 100 something subscribers before I started doing the podcast. So, but yeah, I mean the mic, I mean, definitely is a game changer. Like, to be able to do the podcast, or even if I wanted to, I could literally sit there and record a video and sit down here and watch it and narrate it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But like, just even this stuff, you know what I mean? It's just, and the thing about it is like, what it don't even really matter is like, if you do, so say you did a a podcast or whatever, you had 10 people come in or 5 people come in, and you all networked and talked about some genes and then showed some stuff, and then you said you were getting into this, and then y'all sparked a passion to drive a project that will be 8 to 10 years long, and you all come up and create that combination, and it's like the next Trojan stranger, or stranger clown, or whatever, you know what I mean? This is necessary in a sense, right? Like, this is for us to keep, I don't want to keep referring back to ball python genetics, but for us to keep cultivating new ways of keeping them, better ways of keeping them, new ways of breeding them, better ways of breeding them. These things, we gotta network, and it starts at a small level. You know what I mean?
Communicate with each other, share the goods, the bads we go through our collection, keeping these animals, things we didn't realize it was a big issue at the time, and we learned something that helped your animal. Like, I've learned to stop feeding my animals weekly. Like, I realize it's kind of stressful on them. It's actually, at least for me, I can't speak for everybody, at least for my animals, I see they're not as stressed. They have a better feeding response from every other week feeding. They're ready to go, and they're still putting on good weight. Like, they're putting on good weight still. Like, people worry about them not getting big fast enough, and they still putting on good weight, and they're holding more of that rat in. So that's actually less poop they're giving me, which is also great, because I don't like cleaning poop. But this is the things we start learning when we start communicating with each other, sharing each other's experiences, and growing together. That's a positive way for the community to move forward. And I like that. From what I've heard from old school keepers and people been in the community for so long, it didn't always used to be this way, where people shared information and helped each other. So I'm glad that took a turn. Yeah,
it's funny. I had a conversation with somebody probably more than a year ago at this point, about how, if you notice, when you feed us, say you have one and you're like, oh yeah, I need to bulk it back up. So, say she come off food, or come off of laying eggs, and you want to get her some nutrients quick, so I need to bulk her back up, right? So you start giving her a small rat every 4 or 5 days, and then you see poop every 2 or 3 days or whatever. And if you notice, you feed her one medium rat in that same time frame. So let's say you have 4 smalls and 1 medium, and for the 4 smalls you feed them every 4 days, so it's a time frame of over 12 days, right? And then for your 1 medium, you feed it once, you will see more consumption of the actual rat from that medium over that time frame than those smalls. This is what seems to be the case from what I have seen in between, doing some experimenting, like what you said. I've tried a couple different things, even as far as like doing ambient temp too, ambient whole room temperature instead of hot spots and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Have you noticed that? Like, more consumption of?
I've seen more consumption of the rats. I've definitely seen that since I switched to every other week. I've seen more consumption of the rat, and
basically it's giving it enough time to digest it, right?
Exactly, fully digest that animal, not just digest enough to get ready for the next meal.
Right.
And that's what their bodies were doing. Right. We're digesting enough to make space for the next meal because they knew it was coming in a week. So after it took them a time to realize they weren't going to get fed weekly and it was going to come every other week, you've seen them take more time to take that time to digest and get more of that rat, which seems to help them more. And you want healthy animals make healthy animals. Yeah. So that's the whole plan.
Absolutely.
Loving it.
Absolutely.
So before we get to the next question, you guys, it's time for tip of the week. If you don't know, tip of the week is where I post on my Instagram and my Facebook. Under that post, all you have to do is put a comment with a tip for either YouTube, reptiles, or life. Whatever you want to put a tip down, go ahead and put that down. You also can sponsor tip of the week segment if you would like to. Hit me up. Let me know if you're interested in sponsoring this segment. I'll let you know what it all entails. Without further ado, here's tip of the week.
This week's tip is from Clover's Reptiles. You are never too old to start a new path or learn something new in life. 100% guarantee. Always can keep learning. So always keep learning, people, no matter how old you are. Thanks for the tip, guys. Go check them out on YouTube, Instagram. Thanks for being this week's tip of the week.
All right, there you go. That's the tip for this week. Great tip. You're definitely never too old to learn something new. You never know where that might take you. So always take the time to learn something new. Shout out to Clover's Reptiles. I think I'm saying that right. But thank you for the tip. Look for them. They will be on our Next Up series in like two months. I think it's in October. So look for them. Get to know them soon. But thanks again for that tip. So let's get back to the questions, which you kind of talked about this a little bit. So we know we can add gloves on there now. But do you freehand or do you use hooks with your reptiles?
That's a good question. I was actually talking to a buddy of mine about this the other day, and before I start, like, I just want to be clear, like, there's multiple ways of doing something, right?
Yes, there is.
With this hobby in particular, is a big debate about how to do it right, and there's multiple ways of doing it right. That's the point, right? But there's definitely a wrong way to do it. True. Now, what should be common across all platforms, in my opinion, when I say reptiles, whatever you're keeping, is consistency in how you're communicating with them, right? You can't just expect one day for me, like, you know what, I'm gonna try to see what it does, how it reacts, or what it thinks, and when it bites you, and you think anything other than play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? Yeah. I mean, so I think that having a way of communicating, hey, I'm getting you out of the enclosure. Hey, boom, I have not touched you. The door is open, and guess what? Boom, there's a scent of a rat, and that's feeding time. So there's no having to distinguish between whether or not it's being handled or it's feeding, because I tell it immediately. As soon as I open the door, cold hook on its back, rub it up a little bit, and they almost immediately are like, food, not food. I feel that cold hook. Get off me. Get off me. Like my retic and my berm and my Dumeril's boa, all three of them do the same thing, just buck. All right, but I do the same thing with them every time, no matter what. I don't care if I don't have time to go walk across the 10 feet to the end of that rack to get the hook, then I don't got time to get them out. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna sit here and look stupid, wrapped up, that's the dang thing. Bleeding talking about. Give me the alcohol, because I got to get them off my arm.
Exactly.
It's simple.
Consistency is very key with animals. Very key.
And gloves, yeah, I use them with my tegu. Not always, only when like first interacting with her for the day, and if I'm like trying something new as far as temperament goes. Not like I wonder see if she'll like wearing a shirt. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking about like, okay, I know you like me rubbing on your back. Can I rub on the top of your head? You know what I mean? How far up can I go? Snip at me. She's never tried to bite me tried to actually bite me. Food, yes, but not me. You know what I mean? And in defense, she just puffs up. So.
I got you. Yeah.
But yeah, I use tools, man. Gotta have the tools.
You gotta be consistent. If you start using tools, you gotta continue using tools. It's what they're used to. It's what they know.
Yeah.
You're communicating to them with that. There's nothing wrong with that. 100%.
Hold on real quick.
Yeah. No problem. Go ahead. I'm always team hook, people. I used to be kind of anti-hook. If hook works for you, use it. If you don't like a hook, don't use it. But don't shame people that do. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's classifications, levels, whatever the case may be. There's some people who they see this guy holding a gaboon viper with the hook up in the air, and they're like, that's how I need to hold my snakes, right? This is it's a corn snake. You don't have to hold it like that. It's not going to kill you, much less even probably hurt you. So there's no reason for you to pick it up with your hook and be holding it like it's a gaboon viper. That's where a lot of the hate comes from of people with hooks, or at least from where I seen it. When I looked at why does someone say, oh, I'm against hooks? That's what I seen. Like they're seeing that person who doesn't know what they're doing, essentially hurting the snake, because it's not supporting it correctly. But, again, really, as long as you're, not hurting the animal, man, it's your snake, your choice, or whatever.
Yep.
But I was going to show you these, speaking of tools.
I
don't know if I ever showed it to you before. The tub puller?
Yeah, from KY?
Yeah.
From Rob? Yeah.
Rob.
Yeah. Go ahead and show that off. So if you are looking for tub pullers, hit KY Constrictors up. Rob, he makes those. Go hit him up if you're interested. I think he's not mass producing them, but custom making them as ordered. Yeah. I believe. So
I think it was like some stickers or something that he had on the end, maybe epoxy that. I don't know. It looked cool though.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good concept, but I mean, them things they're worth it. When you got one that is that on food hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you.
Yeah. I use my hook to open it up on the ones I know that shoot right out because they be ready.
Yeah.
They be ready.
And see, I did too, but there's been a couple times my hook slipped. And then other times where I felt like I was digging into the plastic of the tub, pushing it in. And I don't know. I had imagined something like that, and Rob was like, "I already got one," and it was just like, I mean, he literally had it with him when I was like, "Hey, I want you to, build one of these." Well, are you mean like this? And I was like, golly.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's the thing.
Exactly. I like that. Okay, let's hit our second to last question. We don't have an audience to get questions from, so unfortunately, guys, we don't have an audience. But this is being premiered, and if Ramel is in the chat, you have a question, throw it in there, and he'll answer in the chat if he's there. We'll see. But my second to last question is: what is one of your goals for your YouTube channel?
I would like to start like a once a week or twice a week vlog.
Okay.
But yeah, the butt. That's it.
Yeah, you already told me how busy you are. That's gonna be. That's. I would
Well,
say.
you know, this is the thing about it is like, and I tell myself all the time, it's like, it's not like I literally am gonna do it anyway. Like the Tegu enclosure, I'm going to do it. The question is, am I gonna record it or not? Am I
Yeah.
gonna stop and say, "Hey, you all, thanks for tuning in"? You know, am I gonna stop, take 10 minutes, set the camera up? You know,
Yep.
forget that I didn't charge the battery, and try to charge the battery. Maybe say I'm gonna wait 30 minutes, and then just, you know. So that that is one of my goals is to just take my phone, do a phone recorded video of some stuff that I do on a daily basis in here and vlog, you know, maybe 10 minutes or so of what I'm doing, 15 minutes, edit it down very little, and then, you know, and then post it, you know, especially this time of year, man. I mean,
yeah, we're doing a lot of stuff in the snake room right now.
Yeah, I can be in here several times a day, you know, and especially when clutches are hatching, like check, you know, who's came out today, who's crawled out.
I actually have a clutch that is pipping
right, you know.
right now, so I'm probably gonna cut it after this. I think I kind of got stuff set up to cut it, and it's not. I think we're gonna finish this where it's not too late, and I can cut it right quick. But you guys won't see that clutch for at least a month. Because it's a clutch I'm gonna do the all-in-one video. It's gonna be like kind of the first time I've done that, where I do it
from start to finish.
Yep, from again me pulling the clutch to the babies have shed. So that's gonna be. I'm gonna try to do 2 of those this year and see how they go and see how people like them.
Yeah.
And I might continue add more next year, but we're gonna just to test it out since I'm having so many clutches.
Yeah.
It helps me able to do that, but I'm gonna see how people like that and
That's a good idea, man.
Change up the content and see what they say. It's just making sure you keep those videos where you can get to them,
right,
and keep it organized. Yeah. That's the problem. And I have the whole who's your uncle thing where I put people's names on the eggs, showing my support for them supporting me is my way of saying thank you for doing that. I had to figure out a different way to be able to do that since I don't have the video when I pull the clutch to shuffle through. I figured out a way. I'm just gonna have to make sure I do that for the next clutch. Next clutch I'm gonna do that with. So, but I think it's a cool idea. We'll see how that works. We'll see how that goes. Definitely. So, last question, which you kind of talked about a little bit. But since you've already kind of bred them, it won't count for those 3 that you've already bred, the corn and the bull. Well, technically the bull will be the one. But what's the one besides that one? So what's the next species you plan to breed?
That would be the Brooksky king snakes that I have. It's an adult pair, and they are 100% het lavender, white side, and Azantic or Anery or Azantic. I can't remember. I think it's Azantic.
Okay.
Something
so
like
what
that.
kind of animal is that? I've never heard of that one.
Brooksky king snake?
Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
I got one right here. Hold on.
Like, we're all learning here today, people. We're all learning. As you guys know, I was learning more about hog noses in the last live. Learning a lot more about that. But, hey, never too old to learn, people. Never too old to learn. So we're going to put them on solo. Oh, wow. Oh. Interesting pattern. Oh, wow. So how big do they get?
I mean, so this is a female.
Okay. And she's pretty much full grown.
Yeah. So
she's
probably about 4 foot. Yeah.
Yep.
But the male
okay.
Actually bigger than her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's usually not the way it goes. Usually the
Right.
females are the biggest.
He's a little wild sometimes. A little wild child. He's probably about 5.
Okay.
So, let's see
Yeah, you can see he's bigger. Yep. Okay.
here. Yeah, but they're
Wow.
super awesome. Let's see, you're probably not gonna stay still till you can see his head stamp.
He's got like a really interesting pattern. It feels like that those eye things when you would get real close and then pull away and you see some, it feels like that, which is cool.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I love their heads, man. Their head
Oh,
stamps are awesome.
oh wow. He's got like a small circle in the middle of it.
It almost looks like a snake head backwards from
Yep.
face from his.
Oh wow.
Even there
That's
underneath
cool.
Their that's underneath
Oh,
there.
little bit of belly action.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Nice. So you plan to breed them. So how do they're kings? So kings
Yeah,
lay
so they're-
eggs, right?
yeah.
Okay.
King snakes are they are similar to rat snakes and well, not really. Corn snakes are more similar to rat snakes.
Okay.
But king snakes are named king snakes because they're just top snake, kind of like king cobra. They actually eat snakes.
I was about to ask you that.
I fed the female a deformed, really super deformed king 8-ball that came out and wasn't alive.
So are you like ever worried about them escaping and eating other animals?
No.
I've heard that happen to people where their king snakes got out and ate other animals, which sucks.
Yeah. Excuse me. No, I'm not worried about her getting out and eating other animals. I keep her well fed, and I mean, I just don't understand. I don't know how a snake can get out of one of these ARS racks, man. They're pretty solid, you know.
They are really solid. They make
get
a
out of-
good rack. They make a good rack. Most of the time, it's because I know when my snakes get out, it's because I didn't close the tub all the way.
Yeah.
That's usually what happens to me.
Well, I know that if I mess up like that, that's the end of my time. Morph Nation will cease to exist and no longer reside in business in the state of Kentucky.
That's the only thing my wife is forgiven. She's okay with a snake getting out. She's not like, if it gets out, it don't shut things down. Now, if the snake bites one of the kids, that's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different ball game. That's where she shuts a lot.
I don't think she would. She'd be upset about that because I think she's kind of thinking like, well, you know,
you shouldn't have been down there.
Yeah.
Understandable.
See?
Told you don't be down there. All right. So, how many eggs do they lay at a time?
You know, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Everything that I have, other than ball pythons, I am in my novice apprentice stage. Breeding, keeping, whatever it might be.
Gotcha.
So I tell you that to say that I don't know. I've never bred king snakes. I have not read into breeding king snakes. I haven't. I don't even know if I'm going to breed them yet. I just have them. They were in the collection. I kept them, and I was like, it'd be pretty cool. I actually have a pair of hatchlings too from last year's clutch of them that are visual white sides, a male and a female, and I, again, just something so pretty. And I was like, it would be nice to have a couple of king snakes around to take care of babies when my tegus had her, because I fed them to my tegu before too.
She's had her fill.
Yeah. So yeah, and then the bull snakes, these just ended up staying here because they are absolutely unreal when it comes to bull snake temperament. Have you ever heard of bull snakes? How they tend to be real hissy and they rattle their tail and.
Okay, because they were super calm when you got them out. Like they didn't.
Well, those are king snakes. I'm talking about the bull snakes. I'm saying it's the same thing with them as far as like going to be breeding them, but I don't know how many eggs they have. I don't know, incubation temperature. I do know it's different, and I've got a new incubator, and I plan on probably using this one behind me for my clubid incubator. I hatch those corn snakes out of room temp, 80 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah, just set them on the top of my retix enclosure.
Yeah, and just kept an eye on them. Okay.
I mean, I don't work. I ain't have to even worry about their temperature. They incubate at 80 degrees, and I know that my room varies about 3 degrees and from winter to summer all year round between 77-ish and 80.
Okay. That's good to know that. That's 100% good to know that. Yeah,
maybe 4 degrees.
It's interesting that you can so many different ways to use parts of your room for different species. Yeah. And still have everybody thrive and be good and get the things they need. Yeah. That works out real good. That's real cool.
These though, man, they are true like fun projects, right? So like, I am able to put some fun learning into king snakes. What do I need to do to get them to breed? Is it just one time? Do they have 2 clutches, 6 clutches? How many eggs do they have? All these questions, right? I learned all this. I pair them up. I go through the entire getting into breeding frenzy all over again with the new species.
Yeah.
Right?
Keep that love for that excitement.
Yeah. And if they don't go, well, I'll try next year. And that's filler space or filler kind of excitement for maybe a low time when my tegu's in brumation, so I don't have anybody in here to kind of mess with, because she'll like run around, and I may talk to her, be like, what you looking at, whatever. And the ball pythons are all breeding, so everybody one maybe 3 or 4 males in this rack are not with females, and we got snakes off food, and you don't want to handle them because you don't know if you're going to take them off food or if they're actually going off food because they're supposed to be going off food because they're breeding. So that is something that will be coming out of brumation, the king snakes, and be starting to breed. Same with the corn snakes.
Yeah.
And then they're hatching the same time that ball pythons are hatching, but it's also something different for people.
Different for you to work with and be interested in. And you can find a whole new clientele through those.
Well,
animals.
I don't really, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is something like
so you might not even sell them. You might just hold on to them, or might just.
No, I'm not gonna hold on to them. I'm definitely gonna sell them. But it's not one that's like, this is what I do. I have this too. Like, this is quality genetics put through a lot of time, effort put into thinking about this pairing. No, I have these. I pair them every year. Here's one. These, corn snakes for $150 or $100 or whatever. And just, that be that. I like the look of the scaleless snake, so it's cool to hatch them out. Like, that's just like. How hatching is. It's a project every time. It's freaking science every time we cut open eggs, and it's like, man, mind blown, satisfied,
Totally. So that's my last question. Before we go, what we got to do? We got to say thanks to our sponsor. So here we go.
Yeah, boy, Drake.
This episode sponsored by DWXOTICZ. That is my twin brother from another mother, Dre. Just go check him out. He is amazing. He is a reptile enthusiast. He has many different species of reptiles, from emerald tree boas, green tree pythons, reticulated pythons, blood pythons, ball pythons. He has, I'm going to say it wrong. It's not a Komodo dragon. It's a crocodilian. I think that's what it's called. I could be wrong, but you only find out if you go check out his YouTube channel. Yes, check out his YouTube channel. He is killing it over there. Great channel. Very informative. He tells you about animals. He shows you how to take care of animals. He shows you how to handle animals. He is very knowledgeable and doesn't mind giving up that knowledge and letting you know all about the animals he takes care of, he loves, and the ones we are all passionate about. Definitely go check him out. And while you're watching his YouTube, make sure you jump over to his Instagram, go hit that follow button, and check him out on TikTok too. He's on TikTok doing this thing on TikTok. But definitely go check out Dre. Dre is a great friend to me, and he's a great friend to the reptile community. So definitely go check him out. Definitely go hit that follow. Let him know I sent you. And thanks again, Dre, for sponsoring this episode.
That is all my questions. Thank you again, Ramel, for coming on. Definitely make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Hit him up on Instagram and TikTok. Ramel, anything you want to promote, let people know about besides those main things? Anything you got coming up you want to let them know about?
Just check out the YouTube channel, subscribe. Definitely gonna be putting out some more content, like I talked about earlier with the build videos, a couple things, and try to do like some clutch updates of what I got in the racks, what's growing up, what's gonna be available, stuff like that. And yeah, check out all my social media: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, across all platforms is Morph Nation Reptiles. Definitely gonna be trying to plug back into podcast sometime and get that networking back out there. And even if it's every once in a while, I don't want to sleep on it. The podcast is nice and always was a good time. You know what I mean? So
understandable.
It's always hard to put aside the time, but it's worth
especially
it.
with family, school.
Yeah.
You doing a lot. So I understand. I totally understand. Also, do you got any more shows you're gonna vend? Because you did just vend a show.
Yeah. Kentucky Lexington Reptile Expo, August 6th. I'll be there.
Okay.
And then probably September I'll do a couple more, and then I don't care if I got 150 babies. It's going to slow down because hunting season comes around. And then they go back to away mode, and they get fed and watered and taken care of. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I could probably care less if I saw a snake until I, fill up that freezer.
Okay.
During that time, I'll just enjoy them. So my goal is to have all my snakes, babies available. At least sold, at least dwindled down to like the higher end stuff, several $100s, stuff like that, and be able to coast into November, December, and start, pushing more animals, but snakes back in January, stuff like that. Last year I sold all but one before January 1st.
Nice.
Of my 12 clutches, 66 babies, I think it was. 67, something like that.
Nice.
I'm on.
Nice.
I believe I'm 78 right now.
Okay.
Hatched for the season.
Not bad at all. Not bad.
It makes my head spin. I don't know how people. I seen something the other day talking about cutting clutch number 85 or 90 or something like that.
I don't know if those people are talking about all their clutches added up through the years they've been breeding, or if they mean for that year.
No, seasons are January to January.
So some people don't break them into seasons. Some people will go from the first time they've had a clutch ever until 6 years now, and they still counting up. So
this person is talking about for the year, for this year.
Okay.
6 months, 7 months. This is for the 22 year.
That is. Geez.
Yeah, I mean, but that's nothing compared to Billy and Will Banks, and I mean,
True.
Will Banks producing like 5,000 animals or something like that a year. So
that is a lot of animals. Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Ridiculous. You can't go in Morph Market and not see one of his animals up there. Whatever gene you go into.
Yeah. For sure.
That's crazy.
Top breeder for sure.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you guys for coming by, hanging out with us. Appreciate you, Ramel, coming by, hanging out. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. It's late. I'm gonna probably put something within this podcast, but if you haven't hit the like button, if you could hit the like button, because YouTube likes that you guys like hitting the like button, and I like that YouTube likes that you like hitting the like button. So if you could go ahead and hit that like button, greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, y'all don't forget to get down in there and tell Judah happy birthday. Y'all show some love.
Tell Judah happy birthday, the big 8. Appreciate all the love for that. He is gonna love it. I'll probably put a short up somewhere, him reacting to seeing all of it too. So thank you for that, guys. Appreciate it so much. This is coming out. I think we got Mealtime coming out this Saturday, I believe. I could be wrong with that. But we have another video coming out Thursday, so come hang out with us Thursday if you can. But thank you so much for hanging out with us. Appreciate all the love, support. Hope everybody has a good weekend, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Peace.